back with Max. He recently joined Childhelp as a celebrity ambassador to advocate for their arts therapy program, and we're going to jump right in because we want to know a little bit more about Childhelp. What is this program about?
Well, Childhelp is an organization that was started a bunch of decades ago by two what I call angels, Sarah and Yvonne, and these are two old Hollywood actresses that went to one of those ISO tours.
Mm-hmm.
And,
ISO tours?
USO.
USO tours, and ended up, seeing terrible things, kids running around not cared for, and, decided to do some things. And it's a long story, it's a fascinating story, the end result of which is that they started to build villages. They have three, I think, villages all around the country, and spent pretty much their entire life since then raising money to help for severely neglected and abused children. And I think until now they've saved, you could say, over 9 million kids. And
wow.
we do a lot of events. We do events. We get invited to golf tournaments, celebrity, appearances and such. And I'm trying to be responsible, but I could see how sometimes you just show up because it's a nice thing to be part of. And
well, how did you get involved in it?
It shows well on your PR, right?
Yeah.
I ended up going to that event. Anything to do with children is dear to my heart, and so when I got there and I met these people, it was a different event. It was very different. It was in Palm Springs. It was, I saw a lot of faces that I knew from TVs and TV screens and otherwise, but I saw that they all feel and talk differently about this. And having met the founders, and I realized there's an organization that's different. They actually do help, and they really do raise money, and you could feel it by going to one of their villages, which I did a couple of weeks ago. And can I just say it was a traumatizing, fascinating, eye-opening experience.
We actually have footage of that. Let's take a look at your trip.
I was fortunate enough to be invited to come see you guys. Just wanted to see for myself this wonderful facility, and I think art therapy is incredible. I saw some of your paintings. Do you like it? Being a dancer, and being in the world of arts and being an educator, teaching kids, teaching adults, I realized that it is an incredible aid in dealing with a lot of issues, with a lot of personal problems. This is a cha-cha. So we're gonna go cha-cha-cha, back, forward, cha-cha-cha, forward, back. Cool, feet together. Cha-cha-cha, 1, 2, cha-cha-cha, 1, 2. Good job, kids, yeah.
So when you danced with them and you had this art form with them, did it change their attitude and the way that they...
There's a bigger segment that you can see when you go on the website and you watch the video. I'm shocked, this does not translate what I felt at that time. So I saw kids that I heard stories of. There's some stories that my imagination wouldn't let me come up with. The form of neglect and abuse that these kids went through. And I'm extremely serious about this. I've never thought that I'd be so passionate about something that much, you know what I mean? So what the part of this trip was to meet with the lady that was in charge of art department, and she showed me and she explained to me how painting and dancing and doing these type of activities, how it helps, because you have to understand these kids are not just, they've been abused to the point where just getting them out and putting them in a happy home isn't gonna cut it. You have to change their mindset. You have to completely reset their mentality. They've seen things that they see now and feel that it's normal, so they almost become them. And I'll give you an example very quick. When I was leaving, this one girl ran up and she gave me a folded page, and it said, I made this for you. And I was like, oh my God, this is so sweet. As I open it up, she has this a little bit of a terrifying laughter, and she goes, they're all dead, and ran away.
She laughed? Laughter? She laughed?
Laughed, but very eerie laughter. And so I looked at the paper, and it's like, little bird, little pig or whatever, and then just red markings all around it, like as if bullet holes, and they're dead. So, and this girl couldn't have been older than like 8 years old. That child needs a lot of that. This was an outlet. I looked at it, I was freaking out, but the teacher came up and she's like, that's the first step, you know, letting that aggression out on a piece of paper,
Right,
rather
exactly.
than, you know, on a pier or otherwise. I know dancing can help, and you know that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to raise money to support that program.
Well, tell us about the campaign.
The campaign is simple, just, you know, raising funds. There are a lot of departments to those villages, you know, from housing, and obviously everything is bills, everything needs to be taken care of. So there are a lot of people, there's a lot of us that are supporting that organization, and over the years they've gotten some government grants, they've gotten some, you know, just support from people that are not really trying to be popular because of that. You know, they just write checks every year and have been doing it for decades. So, you know,
But
it's
you're
people
actually
like
getting
this.
involved. You go, you see
So
firsthand.
what I want is I want people to watch the video. I want them to see, you know, my interview. I've said enough to translate that it's real. It's not just a publicity stunt. And what I want people to understand is that I come from educating kids since I was 15 years old. I had my first studio when I was 16, and I know firsthand what dancing can do, what constant access to arts can do for your child and for, you know, a developing mind. And these kids need it more than anybody else.
How much money are you looking to raise?
I mean, I asked my friend who represents that company, and he's like, listen, we won't say no to $100,000. So.
Okay, well, we don't have $100,000, but we have a check from Home and Family for $1,000
Thank
that
you
we
so
would
much.
like to give
There
you
you
for
go.
your children.
Just to start. And listen, that goes a long way. It goes a long way because as I help out too in some of these countries
Yes.
in helping children.
This does go a long way. You know, we sometimes forget value of money. You know, we forget how much things actually cost, especially getting lost in, you know, having a little bit of success for me and my brother. You know, you start to forget a little bit, but this is a lot of money.
Even if it's $1 or $5 or $10, everything
Exactly.
counts.
All we're
Everything.
trying to get is we're trying to pay for the hours of the qualified instructors and also just basic supplies. I'll personally be coming in, teaching staff, educating them how to teach kids dance-wise and all this stuff. You know, what I know.
Yes.
I'll be sending out my staff to help out as well. Everything else is up to good people.
Well, we hope you reach into your hearts and your pockets to help Max reach his goal fundraising of $10,000 personally by donating online. Go to childhelp.org/Max. Thank you so much for coming by. I hope your belly was full.
Thank you.